Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Sekiro.
よう旦那、また商いが必要かね。
So the info broker doesn't have anything new to say. What he has is Dragon's Blood droplets. This is something people were worried about when the game released. There was a ton of
じゃあな、旦
misinformation.
那。
I can understand why. I didn't even realize with this guy you could do this, but it says he'll stock 2 Dragon's Blood droplets. When you buy out something from a character, they don't typically restock it. This guy actually does, so you have infinite Dragon's Blood as long as you can just farm money. That way you can always cure Dragon Rot. Here we're going to listen in on a little bit of a convo.
お主、ラッパ者を見なかったか。この辺りに逃げてきたはずなのじゃが。
おお、そいつはどんな格好だ？
黒い傘じゃ。黒傘の小男じゃ。
だがこの辺りを通った者はおらぬがな。タヌキか、あるいはムジナか何かと見間違えたんじゃねえのかい？
もうよいわ。
So they're talking about something that appears like a badger. I could be incorrect here when I listen in on that conversation. It might be the localization slash translation kind of screwing up there, or realizing it might not translate to English speaking audiences. I'm pretty sure he said the word Tanuki. Tanuki being like a sort of Japanese raccoon dog, used a lot in like Japanese mythology and folklore. If I remember right, they can sort of be tricksters. You've all probably heard of Tanuki. I don't know if I should go too in depth. Tanuki are sort of tricksters now. They were originally seen as much more divine, but with the coming of Buddhism, a lot of things changed. Sort of seen like Kitsune almost in ways. They're known for having giant testicles as shapeshifters, as tricksters. This character's name is kind of poorly localized. I'll tell you what it really should be after we talk to him.
だから寄せつったんだけどな。まったくしつこくって嫌になるぜ。めんどくせえ。ん？おめえはヨタカの衆か？
いいよ。
まあそうだろうな。風情がちげえ。だがどうやら同業だ。俺は黒笠のムジナ。おめえは？愛想のないこった。しつこい追っ手に仏頂面の忍び。アシナの連中も外で騒いでな。まったくいい日だね。
お主、抜け人か。
まあそんなところだ。ところでよ、ちっと銭が入りようなんだが、品はあれど裁くあてがねえ。おめえみてえなやつを待ってたところだぜ。おめえ知ってるか？このアシナの城にはな、外からのネズミがわんさと来てら。そういったネズミをよ、バッタバッタと切りまくるおっかねえじじいがいるんだぜ。
天狗の面か。
おお、おめえも見たのか。
ああ、話だ。
へ、そいつは驚きだ。よくまだ首がつながってるもんだな。さてと、おかげさんでだいぶ銭もたまったぜ。支度にゃ十分だ。ぼちぼち行くとするかね。
どこへだ？
金剛山の千宝寺。最近この辺は富にネズミが多い。きな臭くなってきたからよ。 ちっと野暮用を済ませておきてえのさ。え？先方寺でちっと野暮用を済ませてくら。おめえも達者でな。
So that is Black Hat Badger. In the Japanese version of this game, his name is different. This English version, Black Hat Badger, is not a very good localization. Sekiro has just a terrible localization, if I'm going to be frank. In Japanese, as I asked a friend of mine, Miyabi, she's Japanese, what it was, his name is Black Hat Mujina. This is a very old term for raccoon and raccoon dog, and for Tanuki. He's very obviously based upon a lot of Tanuki lore. So his name in English should really be Black Hat Tanuki. I say that over Mujin just because Mujina is older. It probably won't convey to as many people, but in English, a good deal of people still know what a Tanuki is, or could even just look it up. Just calling him Badger really obfuscates a lot of his character, what he is, and what he's a reference to. I don't know why the localization team did this. This is really common in the game. The Divine Grass, again talking with Miyabi, the description for it in English talks about how Dogen, the doctor, invented it. In the Japanese version, he's not even mentioned, and it's supposed to be grass containing tiny gods. Or something along those lines. Over there we can see Ashina Outskirts. That's the Underbridge Valley. This is the destroyed bridge that leads to Ashina Castle from Ashina Outskirts. This is just the old grave area. It'll be more important later. For now, it's kind of empty. Really, Black Hat is the only thing here of importance. It does give up the gig a little bit, I guess, that I said that, but I don't think it's too much a spoiler to just say areas will change. The game has sort of phases. It also has day cycles. They're related to things you beat and find. And it actually does change the enemies in areas and changes their difficulty even. So we've headed back here. We got a new prosthetic tool from Black Hat Tanuki / Badger. The Loaded Umbrella. This is a shield. You hold it up and it protects you. It has various upgrades that are pretty useful. You can use it to deal with really annoying attacks from certain enemies. You'll want to get the magnetic upgrade. It just makes it overall better. You do have to be wary of your posture. And you can use it to deflect, actually. When you finish using it, it has an attack. I believe you need the skill for the follow-up prosthetic attack for it, though. There is a fire upgrade for it. I believe Suzaku, possibly named after a Japanese emperor. And there is a terror terror magic upgrade for it that will block that. Very useful for certain bosses that use either fire or terror. Just makes them way less annoying. But we're going to head to Ashina Depths. Welcome to the Poison Pools. This is the Blight Town-esque area / swamp for Sekiro. When you see this, you might get really worried and be like, Oh, fuck, not again, FromSoft. This is probably the easiest one in the entire FromSoft, like, library. Main reason being, you can jump, and you can grapple. There's trees to grapple around. You can just jump out of the poison when in the air, it doesn't affect you, and you can use the jump to get further faster, and you can kind of run in it. I wish it was harder. The poison almost is not a factor. There's also ways you can mitigate poison very well. Any sort of antidote increases your poison resistance. We haven't found it yet, but there's actually a gourd you get that, on rest, gives you poison resistance. You get 5 drinks of it. And it will also reset your poison buildup. It does not cure poison, though. So, a funny thing about this area is that there is a tooltip, it has been one since the game released, that says enemies in poison areas are highly resistant to poison, so don't try poisoning them. This is me just showing off the poison buildup. Again, it's pretty slow. But that tooltip saying that enemies in poison areas are resistant to poison used to be completely false. Seemingly in the latest patch now, these guys actually have really high poison resistance. I used to use Sabimaru here, and many people cheese the mini-boss right here. Snake Eyes is her name. They cheese her by standing basically where I'm standing right here, and she'll just stand in the poison and get poisoned and die over time. I guess I'm not sure that everyone stands right there. When I was testing it to show it off, that's where I got her to stand. So right there, if you stealth, you can walk through the poisoned water and get to them before you get poisoned. You can then backstab them, and that way you won't alert anyone and won't alert the boss. This way you can go up and get a stealth death blow on the Snake Eyes. I find her name really funny. So, the Snake Eyes are a sort of tribe. They're around here and in Sunken Valley. They're the people who own the gun fort. They're the gun people. They're really accurate and have good guns. So this is actually an older recording. This was one I was doing for a guide on the boss fight. I haven't finished yet because it's kind of hard to record voice for it, and want it to get shared to an entire community. Fun little deflect there. Sometimes when you get your posture broken, actually, it'll knock you down, and then she'll shoot over you. Also, her gunshots will damage you through guard. You need to deflect them. I tend to fight her over on this big Buddha statue. There it is, going right over with my posture broken. Try to avoid fighting her over here, because that sniper up on that platform can end up seeing you. They'll make the fight really annoying. You also don't want to alert the guy with the sort of big gun on the island. That grab there is a problem for a lot of people. You can really consistently deflect it though. This is the proper fight, I believe. This was recorded a long time ago. I think this might be no hit, no damage. But it is on new game, so I don't have any of my bells and whistles. I can sort of tell when footage is a little bit old because of mods have been broken because of the patches, so I haven't been really using them. And this is clearly modded with the black and gold skin. There it is, the deflect on that. Again, really consistent timing. It may take a bit to do it, but once you start getting it, you're going to get it probably every time. So it doesn't work for this Snake Eyes anymore. The other Snake Eyes we'll fight later on, you can use Sabimaru on her, even just the base version. When she is poisoned, she'll get stunned, and it just devastates the other Snake Eyes. So you can wait her out when she starts shooting. She'll try to fight you at a range, but eventually she'll come over. That's why I like to use this statue right here, this Buddhist statue. The elevation is not great, but isn't too big of a problem, but it will block any bullets or enemies from spotting you. Another reason actually I'm doing this spot first is if you do Sunken Valley first, this area will be different. So I wanted to show what it's like before that first. It's actually harder if you do it do Sunken Valley first. I'll talk about it when I get to the specific spot. You'll actually have to fight an additional boss here if you do Sunken Valley first. And that boss won't be beatable, actually, until you do Senpu first. Firecrackers, of course, work on her. They're pretty nice. But that is the Snake Eyes. Both fights are very similar. This one is slightly harder just because of the poison resistance and the people around with guns. So it should in this recording show, and I did it for the guide, I actually show how to cheese her. I typically don't cheese any fights, but as you can see, I drew her over here, stood up on this hand, and this footage is very, very sped up. This is from before the patches show, so she's actually less resistant to poison in this video. This will still work, it just takes much longer now. If you stand right here, she'll just wait and shoot, and wait in the poison. You want to wait until her health reaches 0. So you can't actually kill a boss with poison. You reduce their health to 0, or it might actually be 1, and then you have to hit them once. So you can just wait them out. You can probably, when you do this, just use a shuriken instead of running up to hit them. It's safer. But frankly, it shouldn't be much of a challenge to get up to a boss and hit them once. Poison is kind of broken in this game. I've been testing a lot with poison. People seem to think poison resistance increases with difficulty levels, but it doesn't. I've tried across various New Game Pluses with Demon Bell and Charmless. I did not see any differences in the amount of hits it took to poison enemies with Sabimaru. So that was poison. This is another one of just how to sneak up on her. Again, you want to follow this specific path. If you go too far to the left, the one sitting down will actually spot you. If you go even a little bit to the right, Snake Eyes will actually spot you. Which I still find funny, her name. It's supposed to be in relation to the immortal snakes, and snakes are predators, but it's not like calling something Hawkeye. Snakes have really terrible eyes. They rely on movement and heat. They're not good at seeing long distances. I'm pretty sure snakes can't actually see long distances. They're kind of known for accidentally biting the hand that feeds them. They don't have very good eyes. Very well adapted eyes, but not the best. This was the fight I did for this recording. So this is her patch version 1.04. It's just showing no real difference, but this one is actually done with the Demon Bell active. I haven't turned it off since I did it, well, turned it on during recording. Right there, though, that was annoying. She shot me at point blank. She normally doesn't do that. I don't think that's a patch change thing. I think it's just finicky with the animation and with the elevation we were on. So a really important thing when fighting her is to be ready to kick, deflect that little kick she does. It allows you to do a really quick follow-up attack on her, and it does good posture damage. Ichimonji is very good against her. Right there, the deflect of the kick. You can, of course, dodge through a lot of her attacks. Here is what the grapple looks like. She grabs you, pulls you in. So I have tested, because I just wanted to check, if it was a thrust, since you can deflect it. Some grapples you can deflect. The little Senpu assassins, the short guys, you can deflect that grab. This one appears to just be a grab. I was not able to Makiri it, no matter the timing. But that's Snake Eyes. We're going to be moving on into Ashina Depths, and then the Hidden Forest. A little bit confusing how we're supposed to get up there. There's no grapple point up there. There's one to that head, but not this one. It's actually a little bit annoying to grapple around here. It doesn't offer the one to this ledge normally. So you can get up here and you can see the top of that head has an item. And there's a cavern we can't reach, actually. So for those perplexed by this spot right here, you have missed an area in Sunken Valley if you've already beaten the game and didn't find that. That is a path from Sunken Valley that leads here. So you normally want to go down, but if you look up and to the left, there's this little grapple point. Duck down here, and you will find a monkey, a big cavern, and the corpse of some giant simian creature. This is a long, rotting body. Also, here is Puppet in action. Puppeted enemies have glowing blue eyes. They'll try to follow you around. They'll attack enemies that are near you. It can be a little finicky. You can use this on mini-bosses, actually. You have to use Vault Over to vault over them as you kill them. This is a sort of giant ape. They're called apes. I find it a little confusing because Japan does not have native apes. They have monkeys. And all of the lore around Japan is about monkeys. You can attack your puppets, and when your puppets attack, they can hit you, so be careful. That ape right there is actually pretty important. So when we crawled through here, you might have noticed there was a spot I could stand. You can use it to get up here. This leads to the top of that statue in the poison pools. I'm hoping you can't hear my chihuahua snorting. He's kind of loud. And rolling around on the ground scratching. They always pick the worst times to do this. They'll be asleep for hours. As soon as I start recording, they come up here. I apologize for the noise. But yeah, that was a prayer bead up there, and now we have another prayer necklace. Now we're going to be on our way to the Hidden Forest. The Hidden Forest is mentioned in the Phantom Kunai, which mentions Lady Butterfly and the butterflies of the forest. It's where her techniques come from. So again, talking with Miyabi and looking, I've been taking photos of the descriptions in Japanese. Oh yeah, here's where a boss battle will be if you've beaten Sunken Valley. But yeah, looking at the translations and things, it mentions Tozan's Trail in English. That's not in the Japanese version. I don't know why. The localizers literally add lore. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, here's Jinza. Jinza-man. He's not looking so good.
ああ、行ってしもうた。すぐそこにおったのに。
お主。
ん？おお、忍び殿か。聞いてくだされ。それがしはついに見申した。女の僧者でござる。遠目にもわかる美しく、だが儚い様子の。ああ、呼んでおるのはわしなのか尋ねるのじゃった。つい聞き惚れておるうちにすっと霧の奥へ去ってしもうたわ。父上から霧今は決してた。さて、霧の奥。そういえば父上から霧深い隠し里のこと聞いたことがござった。忌まわしい里ゆえ決して立ち入るでないと。だが今はどうでもよい。さて、この先はなんとも濃い霧の森をあの女僧者のもとへ行くにはどうしたものかな。ああ、霧の奥であの調べが呼んでおる。
So we actually can send him to the abandoned dungeon. I'll be showing off what happens when you do that later. I'll probably at once do the abandoned dungeons in a video. I actually have the Kotaro path for it recorded already. But here is the Hidden Forest. This is an area that people kind of struggle with and has jokingly the toughest boss in the entire game and series that From has ever made. It's actually an incredibly easy boss. It's just a joke. That's the joke. So here I'm going to unlock Ashina Cross. There's actually a text for arts and like skills that you can only get when you have the final one in a tree. This is Ashina Cross. This is the special move of Ishin Ashina, or Ashina Ishin. It's a very weak version of his, and it's wrong, it's not a cross. Our version isn't a cross, but it does decent damage. I'll see you next time.